As entrepreneurs, we have a lot of beliefs that can hold us back. Most of these beliefs come from people sitting in the arena trying to extract value whilst you do the hard work of trying to create it. A lot of these beliefs really took a hold of me and eventually took me out. I'm going to start giving you some simple ways to get around them with some really easy reframes. So if they come at you this year, you're ready to handle them. The first one, we just have to stay alive. There's going to be moments as you go throughout your year and you try to, you're running low on cash, you're feeling drained, you're feeling strained, you don't know where to go, you're feeling absolutely overwhelmed, you're getting asked a lot of questions from people that may have given you some money, maybe some investors, and you feel like your product's just really not doing what you need to do, and your offer really isn't landing, and the sales just aren't growing, and it's starting to feel like it's all going to fall apart. You're probably going to start saying to yourself, we just need to stay alive. But staying alive is stagnant and no path. A quick reframe in this moment is staying alive is not a strategy, but sticking with it is. So what does each of it look like? Staying alive is like you get overcome by the dialogue that cash is king, but you can keep doing a business after it runs out. And this huge distraction of cash and the need for accumulated capital versus the hard, uncomfortable work of going deeper in the problem and finding more opportunity yourself is what staying alive looks like. You become consumed by trying to find more sources of capital, which is actually more comfortable than going deeper into the market, figuring out what your customers need, where to create value, and crafting a better offer, and then doing more of it. Because the deeper that you go versus just staying on the surface and trying to stay alive, the more opportunities that you'll notice to create value, and therefore the more sales, and therefore the less requirement for it. The deeper you go into conversations, the uncomfortable truths, the more value that you can create than everyone else, and the more you share along the way, the earning will come. So next time you feel overwhelmed versus, say, staying alive, go deeper, because that's what sticking with it is. And just remember, you can still keep operating a business when it runs out of cash. It's just going to be more uncomfortable. And I'd rather be uncomfortable and create value versus comfortable and directionless. Number 2, the opposite of intense is mild. There will be moments where you'll be attacked for being different and being intense, and you'll feel beaten, drained, and honestly, you'll feel like, fuck this, why am I doing this? A simple reframe to get you from a negative mindset into a positive mindset is just remember, if the opposite of intense is mild, I'd rather be intense. Here's what this looks like. You can take this comment and feel bad. You can feel out of place. You can feel lost. You can feel like a loser, and you can get defensive. But once all that passes, you realize that the opposite of intense is mild. Intense is focused, energetic, hot, and epic, whereas mild is slow, lethargic, non-memorable. Let them be mild. You stay intense, and remember, don't let mediocre people get in the way of your world-class goals. So the next time you feel like you're getting a lot of hate, or you feel like you could be getting, about to be getting canceled, or people around you are saying this won't work, I don't think you can do it, or you're too intense, you're unhinged, you shouldn't be able to do this, just say to yourself, hey, I'd rather be intense because the opposite of intense is mild, baby. On to number 3. There will be moments where you feel like you are doing everything right, but sales and growth just stop. So you ratchet up the urgency and nothing happens. You slowly resent your customers because they can't see you for all the hard work that you've done. The challenge feels productive. The challenge of urgency feels productive, but the dread builds that you are missing something. You become so overwhelmed that you stop selling and try to find other people to sell for you. Rather than doing that and wasting a lot of money, I'd ask you a simple reframe from rather how many prospects can you push to close? What would happen if we built belief, not drown them with urgency and competence? What would happen if you presented your vision and asked how it sits with them? What would happen if you didn't control the outcome but create value? What would happen if you gave them all the insights to do it without you, knowing that they'll probably trust you more and come back and work with you? What would happen if you invited them to learn versus just to see your competence and its greatness? What would happen if you built belief, not forced competence down their throat through urgency? When this happens, you are not the problem. It is not the reason why it's not selling. Applying more energy to it or outsourcing it won't get you to that next stage. But enhancing the skills that you have will get you there. And rather than trying to win every deal, be comfortable in losing every deal. And rather than trying to close customers, help them try to believe in themselves that they can do it without you. And all of that will lead to more energetic conversations, way more value created, way more trust built, and more sales. So next time you feel overwhelmed and you feel like you have to push your customers to close, reframe and ask yourself, what would happen if we built belief in our prospects and not drown them with competence? Number 4, there will be moments where you attract too many advisors and to begin to feel you are not worthy of your business or vision as you succumb to constant critique. It slows you down and pushes you to the edge. Rather than starting to think, I'm not worthy, and I need someone else to do this, and I'm not good enough, and I'm deeply flawed, I want you to reframe this from, you are worthy. You are just now lucky to enjoy the comfort of advice versus the discomfort of the hard work of engaging the market. How you can overcome this is a simple saying. When this moment happens, you can say, I'm worthy. What I'm feeling is the anxiety that anyone has when they avoid the work they know they should be doing, but don't. And if you don't want to do that, remember, when you lose everything, the advice will stop anyway, but the work will still be there. So you may as well ignore the comfort now and choose the discomfort of doing the work while you have more time, more resources, and more energy. Do not succumb to the comfort of advice. Always enjoy the discomfort of the work, knowing that anyone that comes after you is also going to have to go through it. And versus saying, I'm not worthy, say you are worthy when you are succumbed by advice and critique. And you're just feeling the anxiety of not doing the work you know you should be doing. More sales, more promotion, and more creation of value with your current customers are all uncomfortable, all create discomfort, and are all harder to do than sitting in a room with a bunch of people that you're paying to tell you what to do next. Number 5, there will be moments where you feel alone, want to protect your team, burden all the company's pain, but by doing so, you miss the opportunity to invite a team member to become a partner. By burdening the pain on your shoulders, you create more problems for everyone later. Rather than burdening the pain and that it's your responsibility as a leader to do it, and that is leadership. I want you to reframe this to, don't let someone you care about miss an epic moment because you were too afraid to tell the truth and ask for help. If they are talented, caring, wanted, and at your small startup, they are already all in. A fear of you showing weakness could be holding back someone else's greatness. Rather than seeing this as an opportunity to be seen as weak and you lose your position as CEO or founder or the leader and owner of the business, see it as an opportunity to develop new partnerships and allow others to rise. If you feel alone and you feel like you need to protect your team from an uncomfortable truth that is creating the company's pain, the simple reframe is, don't let someone you care about miss an epic moment because you were too afraid to tell the truth and ask for help. You will be surprised how much around you can rise if just given the moment of honesty and the space to step up. Remember that they are probably already all in, and all of that doubt in your mind is just the fear of you letting others down, not the fear that someone won't step up and catch you once you've had a leap of faith. Number 6, there will be moments where everything in a deal will look like you have a partner, but it drags out. Things take too long. People feel not senior enough. It might also feel like you spent a lot of time with the wrong company. 3 to 6 months feel wasted. You feel disconnected, deflated, and a loser. You want to quit. That's the easy path. Maybe on the other side of the coin, because things haven't really gone from the startup energy you had at the start to something great, maybe they'd like to quit too. You need to move from this isn't worth our time to this is worth 30 seconds more of our time. A simple reframe when you feel this way, you're still in dialogue with someone that's yet to be a partner, and you both haven't crossed the line together is, what would happen if we just gave it another 30 seconds of courageous dialogue? What would happen if we told them that we felt uncomfortable? What would happen if we went all in and stuck our neck out just a little bit further, even though we didn't want to? What would happen if we told them that this feels disconnected and this feels like bullshit and this feels like we're both wasting our time? What would happen if you spent 30 seconds on admiring them versus being deflated by the deal still not being done? What would happen if you just turned up at their place of business and asked them for 30 seconds to go deeper? What would happen if you actually told them what your goals and vulnerabilities are and why you were worried about being a founder? What would happen if you called out the mindsets that were holding each group back in order to get them to where they need to go? What would happen if you spent 30 seconds acting like a partner versus waiting for the dotted line to be signed to get on with it? 30 seconds of courageous dialogues is all it takes to go one step further with a potential partner that most don't take. 30 seconds on belief, not competence or reasoning. 30 seconds to say the uncomfortable truth, the lofty vision, how you feel about why you're talking past each other, or asking the taboo questions that we don't ask but need to ask if we move into partnership and marriage. To tell them that you believe that they can do it, to fully commit, to put their neck out there and then wait. Rather than wanting to quit after 6 months of excited then deflated conversation. Go another 30 seconds. Put your neck out a little bit further. Make the situation uncomfortable. Stay in and see if a partner rises. Building a business can be tough, but it's all achievable as long as you start to see things as skills that you need to acquire versus problems that cause flaws of yours to be exposed, which you can be overwhelmed by. These are some of the simple reframes that I wish I had when I kicked off my first company that would have kept me going longer, create more value for more people, and would have enjoyed more doing it. Remember, nearly every single situation can be reframed from, oh, woe is me, to what would happen if I take another step further, and maybe I've missed something. Good luck. Try these reframe. Start to become a partner.